Scott, and today is a vlog video, but it's not going to be too much about vaping, to be honest. Now, if you recall, quite a few people had requested for me to show how I set up all my equipment for recording the reviews, and also go through the equipment I actually use as well. And around 10 days ago, I was getting all set up to record a review. I think it was the Aqua actually. And I set up all cameras around the house to obviously record that process. And afterwards, I realised that I was spending an hour and a half just setting up equipment and carting it from one room to the next, and then up the stairs, etc. Then obviously putting it all back again at the end of the day. And it really made me realise just how much time I'm wasting just sort of getting things set up before I can even press the record button and actually start recording the reviews. And an hour and a half, it was actually just over an hour and a half, but an hour and a half every time I record a review is an hour and a half that's basically wasted. And over a course of a week or a month even, that's many hours that I'm wasting, which could be used, spending time with my family, answering all the emails and YouTube comments, getting more reviews done, getting vlog sections done, etc, etc. So I realised then that something had to change. Now, when we first came to this new house, the idea or the plan was to convert our internal garage into a sort of dedicated studio. And I don't just mean put some recording equipment in there, close the door and start recording, because I wanted it to be a proper studio. So it's going to be soundproofed as much as it possibly could. It'll be transformed into a proper room, which would obviously mean builders coming around and getting rid of the garage doors, excuse me, and putting up a proper brick wall there with nice double glazed window, etc. Proper ventilation as well. And we did have a budget for that when we moved into the house, but as soon as we moved in, that budget went and quickly disappeared because other things cropped up, like, oh, we need new furniture, or we need to get this room decorated. That building work's got to be done, and like I said, the budget for it just went out the window. And so what I had been doing is setting up for all my close-up shots in the dining room downstairs. And then when it comes to doing these sort of vaping shots, I'll be taking all my equipment through the house, up the stairs, and then setting up on the landing. And needless to say, it was a real big pain in the arse. And the idea of us moving to this house was to make things easier for me to actually do all my recordings and that. And obviously, because it's a bit of a bigger house compared to our old house, and got to go up the stairs as well. Beforehand, I managed to do everything in the kitchen because we had a really nice big kitchen at the old house. Whereas here, I'm sort of having to sort of split between two rooms and go up the stairs as well to be able to get those sort of shots recorded. So I knew something had to change. Now the garage is out the window at the moment. There's just no way I can sort of spend, or I haven't got that money to spend on the garage at the moment to get that all converted. And so I was looking for alternatives, and we have got a really nice big conservatory. Our conservatory here is about sort of 40 square metres. It's a really big conservatory. It goes like the whole length of the house. And on one end of it, it's been sort of blocked off to make a sort of study area. And it would be perfect. It's a perfect size, apart from the ceiling in there is like a sort of corrugated sort of PVC, so it's like all see-through. And it looks great in the summer, and it's very nice and relaxing because you can hear all the birds singing and the trees sort of rustling, etc. But obviously, if you want to be recording, you need to have a nice quiet environment. So that was sort of out of the question, which meant the only room left was the room I'm in at the moment, which is the fourth bedroom. Now, the previous owners, they've been using it as a little nursery, so there's all sort of baby wallpaper everywhere, and it is a very, very small bedroom. Really ideal for just having a cot in here rather than a bed. You could get a bed in at a stretch, but like I say, just a very small room. But I thought, if I can just set up this room for my close-up work, so it's all permanently set up, then at least that's one headache out the way. Plus, where I go to record the vaping shots is literally outside that door there, so I've not got to carry it all through the house, upstairs, etc. I can literally just go out the door onto the landing, and again, it's just going to make things a lot more simpler for me. So in this video, I'm going to start off by showing you how I was setting up all the equipment previously. Now, like I said, this footage, I did have the camera just sort of set to record, and that was it, and it turned out to be over an hour and a half long, just me sort of setting up, which, like I said, isn't really sort of suitable or sort of feasible really if I want to sort of try and get out regular videos. And I've had to cut this footage down a lot, plus I've sped it up by around 1000%. So you will see me going around very fast, like some sort of a Benny Hill video. But you know, it's only I can really do it to try and keep things down to a minimum. And I'm going to talk through the process that I'm going through at that time. And I'm also going to show you the vlog video that I made transforming this room from the little sort of nursery into the studio that I've made it at the moment. Now for that section, the audio is very, very poor. I'm just using a little GoPro camera to do the vlogging, so it's not the most good quality footage. It's not a very flattering camera angle. It's not flattering for me anyway, and the audio is a little bit on the pants side as well, but you know, hopefully it will be of interest to some of you who are more into the sort of recording side of things. Okay, so then let's start off then by going through what my sort of usual process was for recording reviews, starting with the close-up shots. Okay, so here I'm just basically sorting out the room. I need to remove some of the furniture, get a few of the chairs out of the way. Now I can start bringing in the camera. And the camera I use for my reviews is a Canon XF300. It's my work camera as well, and it's a fantastic bit of kit. Pretty crap in low light, but as long as you've got plenty of light, you get really good pictures out of it. Here I've got my little sort of background that I use, and just giving it a bit of a clean. And then I'm just going to be arranging my lights. Now these are softbox lights. I think they're around sort of 4,000 watts, something like that. You can sort of control how many lights you have turned on as well. Really good quality lights. Probably a little bit overkill for my needs, but they're always good and come in handy for other applications as well. Now what I have here is me picking up the wrong one. I always do that, so I'll go out and get the right one. And these are basically pop-up backgrounds. And I use these for my backgrounds when I'm doing these sort of vaping shots, but here I'm using them to block out light and also to help reduce light reflections from the audio. It helps to reduce that sort of echo a little bit. And then from here I'm just going to, the XF300's got a really good little built-in monitor, but sometimes it's quite handy to have a separate monitor as well, a little bit larger, just so you can you know, sort of dial things in a little bit better, get your focus a little bit sharper, and also check for things like exposure. And what you just missed there was me doing my white balance. Very important to get your white balance correct before you start recording. And then from here I'm just basically sort of framing my shots, making sure everything's all nicely lined up, checking my exposure, like I said, making sure my white balance is looking okay. And that is just sort of generally, and also checking audio as well. There's just to make sure my audio levels are correct. And that's it, I'm all ready and set up to start shooting for the close-up shots. So that is the close-up shots. Then after that, what I need to do is then basically transform, or well, not transform, but take all that equipment up the stairs, and that's what you're going to be seeing now. Here I have set up a few different cameras. I've got a couple of GoPros and my GH4 at the back there. And you're just going to see me basically sort of taking everything up the stairs and trying to set it up. So obviously I need a chair to sit on. And then the next thing I'm going to be bringing up is probably the camera, if I can recall correctly. And for the moment I'm just literally just sort of plonking everything down. I'm going to worry about all the actual setup once everything's up there. Then the next step is to bring up these ginormous lights, which are, they're quite heavy, but it's not so much the weight, it's just the awkwardness of them. Now I could take the actual light off the stand and then carry them up separately, but then that means you've got sort of 2 trips up the stairs rather than 1. And so now I've got everything up there and in place. What else do I need? I can't quite remember. I'll let you know in a second. Don't know what I've done there. Oh yeah, I need to obviously bring up my microphone as well. And I use for what I'm talking to you at the moment into a Rode NTG2, but for my reviews I use a wireless system. It's a Sennheiser Wireless G. Again, really good little mic, a little sort of clip-on mic. You just get a far better audio compared to the Rode, in my opinion. Next step is obviously just plugging everything in. Closing off all the curtains, which again obviously I like to shoot in dark conditions, and that way you can have controlled lighting. You haven't got to worry about it. Once you set your exposure, you haven't got to worry about it changing afterwards. And also again, having the things like the curtains closed just help to soak up any reflections from the audio and eliminate that sort of reverb sound. And again, like once I'm up here and everything's all in place, I can just sit down, get all my framing right. That's why I've got my hand above my head there looking like a bit of a tit. Checking the audio levels, checking all the exposure, checking the focus. I've already, with my white balance, I don't bother resetting up here. It seems to be quite well trained for both the close-up shots as well as these sort of vaping shots. And if ever I do need to adjust, I can just do that in post-production anyway. Okay, so like I said, there's a lot of that footage there I've actually cut out, and also I've sped it up by 1000%. But for me, sort of setting up all the close-up shots, you know, moving all the furniture out of the room, etc., etc., getting all my equipment in, and then set up, then making sure my exposure is right, my focus is right, my white balance is correct, my audio levels are all good to go. You know, that process before I can actually sort of start pressing the record button. You know, with that process, as well as getting it all set up for the vaping shots, in total it's just over an hour and a half. Now, you know, if I really wanted to, I could speed that up by sort of running around like a excuse me, like a madman. But you know, I can't really be asked to do that. So you know, I just like to sort of do things properly and take my time. So just over an hour and a half, and that's an hour and a half I'm wasting every time I want to record a review. And also it's the motivation side of things as well. There's nothing worse than sort of feeling a little bit undermotivated, and you think, fuck me, I've got to carry all this stuff around the house now before I can even just sort of press the frigging record button. And you know, so hopefully by having a room set up, even if it's only for one aspect of my reviews, just be able to walk in, turn on the lights, turn on the mic, press the record button. It's going to make a massive difference for me. Okay, so now I'm in the studio, and it is literally the world's smallest recording studio. And I'm going to show you the vlog video that I made. But like I said, it is all shot on a GoPro, so the audio is not that brilliant. The picture quality is not that brilliant. GoPros are fantastic cameras if you've got plenty of light, where it's a little bit dark in here, so that the actual picture quality does sort of fade a little bit. And it's definitely not the most flattering camera angles for me. Quite why I didn't record it on my iPhone, I don't know, because for vlogging that's probably going to be a far better camera. But for whatever reason, I thought, oh, I'll use my little GoPro, that'll be better. And I wasn't too worried about it. That got sort of splashes of paint or sawdust, etc. on it as well. So that's why I went with the GoPro in the end. But here is that little vlog video. Probably going to be quite boring for people who aren't into sort of DIY or recording setups, but like I said, you know, people did want to see it, so I thought it might be a nice addition. Okay, so this is like our internal garage, and this is where ideally I was going to set up the studio, but as you can see, it's just fill up with crap still, and the amount of money it's going to cost me to actually convert this, even though I can do sort of probably most of the work myself, it's still going to be pretty expensive. And we've already spent God knows how much money on the house since we moved in, you know, just sort of getting it all decorated and new furniture and that, and it's just not really sort of feasible for me to be able to spend that much cash on getting this all transformed. So the alternative I've got is our fourth bedroom, which is a bedroom, but it's pretty small, as you will see in a second. I started doing some work on it, and if I'll just get up the stairs, so I've got some of the equipment out here at the moment. If I come in here, this is the room, which I'm going to try and turn into the world's smallest and most compact studio, but I'm still deciding what the best way to do it is, to be quite honest. This was obviously like a little nursery. There's loads of sort of like kiddie wallpaper up, and like I said, it's not the biggest room in the world. And really, you know, you could get a bed in here quite sort of easily, but there's not a massive amount of room, as you can probably tell. I've already stripped off all the wallpaper. Luckily, the plaster is really good. No problems there. Might just need a little bit of sanding and a few rough spots, but the actual quality of the plastering seems to be very good indeed. So it saves me one job and one expense. And next step now is just to paint it, and then I'll probably get some flooring down, and then start looking at buying some like benches or worktops, and other sort of bits and pieces I'm going to need, such as sort of brackets and stands for lighting. But that is it so far. So it's just an empty shell at the moment. The GoPro camera, because of the sort of fisheye lens, does make things look a lot bigger than what it actually is. But trust me, this is a pretty small room. It's around sort of 2 metres by 2 metres roughly. So, you know, like I said, pretty small, and whether I'm going to be able to fit everything in here is going to be questionable. I'm still going to have to sort of go outside of this room for recording certain sort of shots. But for the most part though, you know, well anyway, for the close-up sort of parts of my videos, I'm hoping to be able to get that in here. Of course, if I can get the close-up shots done in a space where everything's already set up for me, all I need to do is come in, turn the equipment on and start recording. That alone will be a massive time saver for me. So anyway, that's where we are at the moment. Got to go and get the paintbrushes out now and then crack on. So I'll let you know the update in the next part. See you later. Okay, so this is where I'm at now. I've just done all the painting, so that's complete, so I'll just show you that. And I've gone for a white colour simply because it's going to be better for lighting, a lot more reflective than the darker colours, and more light means it's better for cameras. You're going to get a better picture, or hopefully anyway. So that is it at the moment. Next step is I'm going to be putting down some flooring. Now I'm going to be doing laminate flooring, which is probably not the best idea because it is going to obviously bounce all that sound around, but I think once I've got everything in here, there's not really going to be much floor space. Plus, where we've done the floor downstairs, I've got quite a few packs all left over, so it makes all sense to just get them used up. Plus I think it'll look really nice as well. So that is what I'm going to be doing today, putting up the carpet and then putting down the new flooring, and that's it for the moment, so I'll catch up with you in a bit. Okay, so just a quick update. I took up all the carpet and the underlay, and a lot of the floorboards were quite uneven, but I managed to sort those out. So hopefully it should go down quite nice and easily now, said the bishop. Going to be putting on the new underlay now. And then once that's down, I'll tape it up and then start working on the laminate flooring. Okay, so that is the progress so far. Okay, so next update, I've just finished putting down the underlay and taping it off, and it feels okay. There's a little bit of a high spot here still, but I'm hoping it should still be okay though. But we would have to just wait and see how it goes. But yeah, that's where we are at the moment, and the next step is to start putting down the laminate flooring, which can be a bit of a bitch at times. I don't particularly enjoy doing the laminate flooring, but it's a fairly small room, so hopefully it won't take too long. Fingers crossed. Alright, then I'll give you another update once all that's on the floor. See you later. That there is Stampy Longlegs. Stampy! Okay, so I've just finished doing putting the flooring down. It's kind of looking really nice. Well, I think so anyway. Hopefully you can get a good idea of that now. No real sort of major problems, apart from some of the angles here are a little bit funny. They're not actually 90-degree angles, so I had to sort of fuck about with that for a little bit. I had a couple of planks that were defective and wouldn't sort of click into position, but other than that, it went pretty well really, so I'm quite happy with how it's come out. It's looking pretty nice really. So today all the, well not all, the two sort of cabinets came, and also the workbench. So that's going to go here now. This is the only solid wall in the room. All the rest is actually plasterboard. And I need a solid wall to be able to put up some sort of heavy fittings as well. So there's going to be the best spot, but it is pretty tight. I notice this room is really, really echoey now. So So I need to get some furniture in here, put up some acoustic board, and that's just sort that out anyway. Okay, so that's where we are. Next step tomorrow is putting in the cabinets and the worktop. I don't know how I'm going to do the worktop though, because it's 2 metres long, that's about 1.8 metres down there, so I've got to cut that down. But the thing weighs an absolute fucking ton. And also I'm on my lonesome, so it might be a bit of a pain. I don't even know if I'm going to get up the stairs, but we'll have to find out anyway tomorrow. Alright guys, that's it for the moment, and catch you later. Okay, so I'm out of breath because I've been working hard, but the latest update is, well basically I've got this installed here, so just got 2 sort of kitchen cupboard units. These were nice and cheap, about 30 quid each from Wix, and then I've got this solid oak sort of worktop, which I've cut to size. Now I have cut it a little bit too large, as you can see. It's really sort of quite wedged in. I've got an expansion gap going all the way around the edge, apart from here. Now ideally I should sort of take that out and shave a bit off, but this thing is extremely heavy, and I've struggled my bollocks off carrying up the stairs and getting it in here. And this is well and truly wedged in place now, so I've got no chance of really being able to sort of take it off. I probably could do if I've got an extra set of hands, but I'm going to take a chance and hope that it'll be okay. Like, this is just plasterboard, so if it doesn't expand too much, it's just going to sort of dig into the plasterboard a bit. I'm not too fussed about that. I've got the expansion gap going all the way along the back here, and this is a solid wall, so that should be unaffected. And nice and straight as well, hopefully you can see that. You know, bubbles right in the centre, so that's good. And it's also central going this way as well, as you can see there. So all nice and level, and it's looking quite good. I've got to get some trims around the bottom now. I did have to, I don't know if you can see it, actually it's quite dark, but cut a panel out so I can get to the electrical socket. It's going to run a cable up through there and have it all mounted up the top here. Going around here, I'm going to have like a oak edging that will hide the expansion gap. And it should look quite nice, but this is feeling really nice and solid. I've not screwed this onto the units at all, but there's no movement there. The thing is so bloody heavy that I may not even bother actually. I'll just leave it as it is, because this is definitely not going anywhere. I need to get a chair that's going to go up quite high though, but I should hopefully have plenty of room to get a light on the stand, a camera and a light on the stand there. And I'll show you my stands I've got. I've got some like table mount stands, but I could also fix them onto the wall as well if need be, just to sort of give me that little bit of extra space. But I've still got a fair amount of room here really, and this is like the main area where I'm going to be doing all my close-up stuff. So far, this is a bit of a bitch getting this thing in here, but overall the room is coming along quite nicely. I need to get some acoustic foam though. We're going to cover that wall and the wall behind me, and like a few other like panels here and there as well. But tiring. It's been going on now for a few days, but it's gradually getting there, so we're on this sort of final home run. Okay guys, so well, that is it so far, and I'll give you an update soon when I've made a bit more progress. See you later. Okay, so just another quick update. What I've done now is I've just attached the like an oak sort of trim that will hide the expansion gap. I just think it's makes it look a little bit more sort of finished. I haven't done any sort of fancy buff tail joints or mitre joints or anything like that. I'm not that good of a carpenter, so I've just done this quite basic. I think it looks fine, and it will serve my purposes just nicely. And yeah, I'm really pleased with how it's come out so far. This is, like I said, it really is nice and solid as well, which is great, because I'm going to have some quite heavy equipment up there, so it needs to be solid. And also, most importantly, I don't want any sort of movement whatsoever, because when you're shooting or videoing things are up close, any slight movement of the tripod, etc., just makes it look pretty awful. So that's where I am at the moment. So I've got the bench in, I've got the trim in. Next thing now is trying to work out how I'm going to be installing these stands that I've got. I've got 3 stands. 2 will be for the lights. I'm either going to have them mounted on the bench here and here, and then have another one mounted in the middle, which I'm going to attach a tripod head to. So not having a tripod, but just the tripod head. Or I'm going to be attaching them to the wall. Now, this is a solid wall, so it should hold the weights all quite nicely with proper fixings. I've just decided whether to basically put it onto the wall or put it onto the bench. So I'm just going to be a little bit more to think about that. I think ideally, if I can get it on the wall, and it gives me a lot more sort of area on the bench to sort of, you know, put like storage boxes and you know, like a computer and things like that, you know. So ideally, I prefer to have it on the wall, but it may be more practical for me to actually have it on the bench. So, like I said, I need a little bit more time just to mull that over. But that's where we are at the moment. The room's looking really nice. Still got quite a bit of a room over this side, so I could put maybe another sort of unit or something there, and I've still got plenty of room to sort of get a chair in here properly as well. And yeah, so there we go. I'll give you another update probably after I've put in the stands. Alright, okay, catch you later. Okay, so next update. Yesterday was a little bit of a ball ache because I had a bit of a problem getting this onto the wall. And as you see, it's quite a big camera that I've got, and I needed a strong enough bracket. And I assumed that you'd be able to go online and find like a wall mounted sort of tripod or articulated arm that would support that sort of weight of camera, but I couldn't find anything. So what I've done is I've improvised. I've got a wall mounted light stand which has a 5/8 sprocket or spocket or whatever it's called, which has a 3/8 threading on the end of it, which I've then attached to a Manfrotto was it X Pro 3-way tripod head, and that seems to be sort of supporting it perfectly fine. I've got some big sort of M8 really chunky, thick, not wall plugs, but heavy duty plugs to obviously keep it in place in the wall. I can't remember what they're actually called at the moment. They're like in a metal casing which expands rather than like a plastic casing. And this arm originally did come out to about sort of here, and obviously that'd be sort of too far over for where I'm going to be sort of doing my sort of shots. My hands are going to be about sort of here, and so I had to cut this pipe down. And this is still extendable. I can still extend it out a bit further if I really wanted to, but that's pretty much perfect distance there for me. And because I have shortened it and it's a pipe within a pipe, it's actually made it a lot stronger as well. So this can hold 10 kilograms, and the camera with nothing attached to it, I think is around, according to the specs on the website anyway, is around 2.7 kilograms. Obviously you have like the tripod head as well, which is adding on weight, like microphones, things like that, etc. But it's meant to be able to hold 10 kilograms. I think where I've shortened it, it should be even stronger than that. But that is on the wall now. I did have a bit of problem because I didn't have the correct drill bit for it. I only had one that's slightly too small, so I had to sort of try and, as I'm drilling, sort of do little small circles to try and enlarge it a little bit. I should have just gone out and got the other drill bit, but I thought I could get away with it. And a bit of the plaster did chip away, but I've sort of patched that up for the moment. And it'll probably need a sand down and another little coat of paint later on. But all this wall here, and pretty much all these walls, are going to get covered in like acoustic foam sort of panels, which I've got. They should be coming here tomorrow now with a bit of luck. Of course you can hear, especially if I stand next to the wall, it's really echoey. It's really bad in here, so I need the like the foam panels up there, and that will hopefully get rid of that sort of quite intense reverb. But I'm really happy with it at the moment. I've got one of my kitchen chairs in here. It's a sort of temporary solution, and that's like the perfect height for this bench, because obviously it's no quite high where it's on these sort of kitchen cabinets, but a really nice height. But I have got like a nice sort of chair which should hopefully be delivered today. It's like a bar stool, but it's quite a nice sort of padded one. It's got all the adjustments up and down there as well, so probably be a little bit more comfortable compared to that one. But so far it's really starting to take shape. I've got 2 more of these brackets, which I'm going to have one here and one here, and they will support my soft boxes. And there should be enough room, so like they're big old soft boxes, they'll probably be up you know, from the table up to about this height, and I can have them at an angle pointed down towards the table, and if I wanted to I could sort of spin them around, and they're sort of easy lift off and sort of lift on, so I can put them onto like a proper stand when I go and do my next sort of set of shots, so it should be a lot easier. But the stands will be attached to the table rather than to the wall, though I think it would be the better solution for us. And last thing I've done today was just putting a light extension lead. So also I need some sort of plug sockets and that for the lights, and like plugging in computers. Now what I've done is I've just sort of drilled a hole. There's a small channel going down the back here, so I've drilled a hole at a bit of an angle, so then the cable's running down the side there, and then coming out, hopefully you can see it underneath there. I've cut out a section so you can get to the plugs, so it's a bit neat and tidy. Got no cables sort of showing there, it's all like nicely hidden away, apart from that little bit of cable there, but I'm not too fussed about that. So yeah, so the next step will be putting in the light stands, the acoustic foam, and assembling the chair, and hopefully as long as the acoustic foam does its job and gets rid of this reverb, and that should sort out. I've got a blackout blind coming as well for the window, just obviously prevent any sort of natural light coming in here, because when I do my recordings I don't have any sort of daylight. I like to have sort of controlled lighting. Okay, so that is where we are at the moment. It's taking a bit longer than what I expected, but I'm really pleased with how it's coming out. I'm really glad that bracket is holding, because I didn't want to have a tripod on the desk, because I thought it's just going to, it took up so much room. Only looking back sort of this sort of area here to actually sort of sort of put this stuff and work. So I thought if I've got one wall mounted, then all I need to do is when I do like my next sort of set of shots, which is like these sort of vaping segment, I just need to take it off the quick release plate, put it onto the other tripod out there, bob's your uncle, fanny's your aunt, it's done. So it's a good solution, I think. And like I said, I'm really surprised that you couldn't buy an articulated arm, like wall mounted, that would support that sort of camera. I thought there'd be quite a few options for that. But like I said, my sort of improvised bracket seems to be doing or working a treat. It's nice and solid on there anyway. A little bit of movement if you knock it, obviously, but you're not going to be knocking it when you're sort of working onto the table. Okay, so I'll give you another update, probably once I've got the light stands in place. See you later. Okay, so I've skipped forward a few steps. To be honest, I completely forgot to actually record it. So I'm pretty much almost finished now. So I'll show you what I've done. I've installed a blackout blind. So this is so that when I've got the lights off, it'll be nice and dark in here. And I've got my proper lights all set up ready to go here. As you see, I've also got the acoustic foam panels, and they've done a fantastic job of getting rid of the reverb. I'm not too sure how it's going to sound when I'm talking to you like on this little GoPro here. But I think it's still going to hopefully be a noticeable difference if you compare it to the rest of the audio that you've heard previously. But when I'm sitting down here facing the wall and recording my close-up shots, it's, it really does make a massive difference of eliminating that sort of reverb and sort of echo sound. So the lights, I'll show you this one actually, it's a bit clearer. These are the sort of table-mounted stands, which you can attach them to the wall as well, but I felt it was be a little bit easier for me to have them onto the table here. And when it comes to me sort of going outside of this room to set up for the next shot, all I need to do is lift these off. They're just sort of placed on the sprocket, or whatever it's called. I've already got my light stands set up there, just need to carry them outside the room, quickly open them up, put the light on top, plug them in, turn them on, and that's it, I'm ready to go. So they only need to sort of take it out from one room to the next rather than having to sort of carry it all through the house. Not a lot else to show you. I've not done any sort of acoustic treatment on this side of the room at all. I just felt if I can sort of get away without having to do it, I'd rather, so then I can have some like a space for shelves, or another cabinet, or some like sort of more, what's the word, I'm not too sure what you call them, but like cabinets going along the top there, just so I've got a bit more sort of floor space, plus I've got lots of areas for storage as well. Because at the moment I've only got those two cupboards, and they're pretty much full up now with crap already, to be quite honest. But yeah, that is it at the moment. I don't know how well this will show up, These are very powerful lights, these ones. They've got, I can't remember what the wattage is, but you know, it's very high. As you see, I've got the light off now. Yeah, I put a new light in there as well, by the way. Oh, there's a nice spider over there. So yeah, so I've got all the lights off here, the blackout blind down. I'm just using my sort of soft boxes, and it does, you know, a fantastic job of giving a nice sort of even light as well. I think at some stage I probably will install another light, so I've got an overhead light as well. But you know, I've for the last sort of 6-7 years I haven't bothered using an overhead light. I've just been using this sort of setup that you can see here, and you know, it's been working fine for me. So it's just something I may do at a later stage, but overall, this is it so far. I may add some acoustic panels on here, not too sure, but like I said, at the moment I think it sounds a lot better, especially if I'm actually sort of sitting down here, and obviously then my voice is going towards those panels and it's not sort of reflecting back. If I'm sort of facing the bare walls, and you do notice it sounds a little bit more sort of echoey, but for my sort of purposes, you know, that is doing the job fantastic, and hopefully you can still hear a noticeable difference in the audio just on this little GoPro video. Okay guys, so that is where I'm at the moment. Next step now is to actually get back to recording. Okay, thank you for watching, and I will catch you up later. Okay, so that was me turning the little nursery into what can only be the world's smallest video recording studio, which should hopefully still make things a lot easier for me. Just having all the close-up shots sort of permanently set up, so I can just walk in and turn things on and start recording, you know, is going to make a massive difference, I feel. And especially as like all the vaping shots is is literally just outside that door there, which means I don't have to sort of cart things upstairs and through the house, etc. Again, which is going to make things a little bit easier for me. Now, my wife is on holiday now for a couple of weeks. The kids are off school for a couple of weeks. Christmas is in around 4 days' time. So I'm not too sure how often I'm going to be able to get any recording done, because, you know, when my wife and kids are home, you don't really get that much peace and quiet. You know, you're the taxi service, you know, you're the decorator and the painter, you're the odd job man. Basically, they just make sure I never get a minute's peace and quiet, basically. But hopefully I can get them to go out shopping or have a day out somewhere. I can get a bit more recording done, hopefully get some sort of a review or another vlog video uploaded. But it probably is going to be quite sporadic for the next sort of probably 10 days at least anyway. Okay, so thank you very much for watching. I apologise if the video is a little bit on the boring side. You know, if you haven't got any sort of interest in recording setup or recording equipment, you know, why would you find it interesting? So I do apologise for that. But next vlog video, I will get back to talking about vaping and all that good stuff. Thank you very much for watching. Have a fantastic Christmas if I don't speak to you beforehand, and a very happy New Year, and take care. See you later.